Hi, my name is Rhiannon O'Connor, and I am a student ambassador for the U.S.-China Strong Foundation. So growing up, I was one of those kids who got a random affinity with East Asian culture. I remember during the Beijing Olympics, I was using my mom's clunky old laptop to try and translate the Hanzi from the Olympic website into English using the translation websites that were a couple years before Google Translate. Whenever I got my paws on a computer for a couple years, I'd start looking up Chinese music or some kind of phrases, something about China. And when I was 11, I finally got the Rosetta Stone program for Mandarin, and I used it throughout middle school, all while blasting Chinese boy bands in my ears and fantasizing about seeing China one day. When I was in high school, I was finally able to take Chinese in school. As before in grammar middle school, I had to take Spanish for 5 years. I learned the first 200 characters, which I already knew from my own studies and endeavors, with Rosetta Stone online stuff. I found that this language that is painted to be so difficult and impossible to stick with me better than Spanish ever did. I did well in class, and it was my favorite class, and honestly, when I decided to transfer high schools after 2 years, it kind of broke my heart to be transferring to a school that didn't have a Mandarin program. But the summer going into junior year, the year I transferred, I was able to make my dream come true and go to China for the first time with the Global Young Leaders Conference, or the GYLC. Though I wasn't there to study Chinese culture specifically, I was finally able to experience this amazing country and culture and everything for the first time. I traveled from Beijing over to Hangzhou, then I took a train to Shanghai, flew to Xi'an, and then took a train back to Beijing to go home. And this was all over the span of a couple of weeks. I picked up a little bit more Chinese, a couple of more conversational things, and some bartering. A lot of bartering goes on in China. To this day, I'm good friends with many of the people I went on that trip with, and many of us, myself included, found ourselves asking when we could come back. Just under a year later, I did. I enrolled in the China Institute's Summer Study Abroad program in Beijing, and I spent 4 weeks living with two host families, one for the first half, one for the second half, and studying Mandarin and Chinese culture. We did some tourist things, but we experienced a more interpersonal and intimate China than a general tourist group would. During the day, we had classes at the Beijing East Side School for Mandarin, and we got to do things like go out to lunch or hang out with our friends or our host families during the afternoon, and we got to be part of a bigger family. Now, my 2 trips to China were extremely different. The first trip, GYLC, had 77 peers from all over the world. SSC Beijing had a total of 9 students, all from the New York City area. I got to see more of China in general on my first trip, but I got to experience more day-to-day scenarios on my second trip. Both times, I cried heavily upon my departure. Chinese, I experienced is a language full of history and meaning. There are the peculiar phrases and characters and idioms, all full of the deep, deep meaning. Chinese people, they are phenomenal. It definitely helps if you have a grasp on the language. That's true with any culture or general population. But I find them to be very kind and hospitable. With one of my host families this summer, we were eating Beijing duck. An old gentleman and a kind of middle-aged gentleman at our table gave me these chopsticks just because I was a foreigner in this country studying Chinese. And I was like, "You're great, thank you so much." I thanked him at least 1,000 times. He was so fantastic, and he was a funny guy to talk to as well. Also, I was lucky to have not one but 2 families offer their homes and families to me and allow me to stay with them for weeks at a time, provide me with travels, entertainment, and food. And they are very kind people. This is also, disclaimer, this is from a Laowai's opinion, a foreigner's opinion, but so far I have no complaints with the Chinese population. And my god, the food in China is tremendous. Americanized Chinese food lacks the variety. China borders over a dozen countries, has over 50 ethnic groups, so of course you're gonna miss a lot when you're just trying to bring the general cuisine over to America. But one fairly common dish that I saw everywhere is scrambled eggs with tomatoes. You don't really see that at any Chinese restaurant. You don't see so many red bean pastries or lamb part on a skewer, a kebab. It's impossible to generalize all of China. It's impossible to even generalize all of Beijing. But one thing I can say, I've felt nothing but love and another sense of home when I was there. And being in the food or even just talking to people, it's you feel the love everywhere. So thank you, and I strongly encourage you to study Chinese, keep studying Chinese, go to China, explore, do everything you want. China's fantastic.